I've worked at LifeElderCare for approximately 7 years, and probably I've worked with almost 2,000 clients here. I think older people have the fear of falling. It's really prevalent in older people. Anybody like over 75 or 80 begins to feel that their balance and their proprioception is not as good as it was. And whether they know anything about that or not, they're going to feel it. And so they have a great fear of falling. And when we start to do these exercises with them, we generally start with some seated exercises that are very simple and easy and get them stronger that way, and then progress them to doing some exercises where they can hang on to a kitchen counter or something very stable, and they start to feel familiar with that and safe with the nurse at their side. They begin to get over that fear of falling, and they start enjoying their exercise and getting stronger. So once I get the information, I go out to the client, I call the clients, I come down to Fremont 2 or 3 times a week to see clients in their homes. I do the intake, I do a balance and a gait test. Then I go home, I sit at my computer and I do an exercise program individualized for each client. I send it back to the office, and they send it to the person's doctor, and we get approval from the doctor. At that point, Sandy calls the client and says, "We're ready for you to come into the program," and we give them a slot, a time slot. I think the biggest challenge for people who haven't done exercise at any point in their life before is to just get the motivation to keep doing it. So our program includes a nurse coming in once a week to help them with the exercise, and often they'll say to me when I first do an intake with them, "I don't know if I can make a commitment to doing that. I've just never exercised before," or "I'm not good at it," or they feel really reluctant to make that commitment. But as they get going and the nurse inspires them, and I try to inspire them when I meet them, we do get a pretty good commitment from most of the people. I would say 75% of the people we see. The benefits to the client, the family, and the community of doing this particular fall prevention program are many. But I think the greatest one is that they have lost their fear of falling for the most part. Another great one is that they can now be more independent in their home. They can maybe start cooking again for themselves. Some of them can get around in the community better. They feel safer. I've met people here who, when I met them, they were what I call grazing the furniture and hanging on to furniture to move around in the house. Some of them have left their wheelchairs and their canes behind, and that was our goal when I met them, and they achieved the goal. One of the basics that I have all the nurses teach each client down here is the sit to stand. And the way I like to teach sit to stand is this. You're sitting in the back of the chair, nice and upright, using your abdominals to support you. You lift one buttock up like this, then push forward a little bit, lift the other buttock up, push forward. Keep doing that sequence until you get to the end of the chair, and if you have pants on, you're going to have the crease of your pants right at the end of the chair. Okay, so I call that the butt walk, just to make them laugh and have them remember it, and they never forget it if they call it that. Now they're going to have hopefully a chair with arms on it. Some of them don't, but we hopefully will practice with one with arms, and we're going to put our feet as wide as our hips and then push up. And you would come up at a sort of a diagonal like this. Posture standing would be to have a little softness in your ankles. If you soften the ankles, the knees soften a little bit, so you get a little bend. You get a little tuck here in the abdominals. You get a little tuck in the shoulders, pulling them back a little bit, and you tuck the chin in a little bit, and you have good posture. Then we teach them to back up a couple of steps until their knee feels the edge of the chair, and go back just the opposite of what they came up. So you're going to reach for the chair, and then slowly lower yourself and walk yourself back into the chair by doing those butt lifts. That's the butt walk. I think this is just a wonderful model because it's very individualized. There's not one set program for each person. It's really tailored to each client here. One of my mottos has always been, fitness has no age limit.